Hello and welcome to our news update. Let's start with a major developing story in the Middle East.
Over the past few weeks, we've seen a significant buildup of American military power in the waters surrounding Iran. This deployment also includes advanced fighter jets like the F-35 and F-16.
So, what's behind this massive show of force?
Officially, Washington states it's to deter Iran from seizing commercial oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway for global energy supplies. The U.S. has even offered to put armed sailors and Marines on board commercial ships to ensure their safe passage. It's a clear message to Tehran: stop the interference, or face the consequences. This isn't just about protecting trade, it's a strategic move to reassert American influence and protect its allies in the region. The tension is palpable, and the world is watching to see what happens next. Will Iran back down, or will this escalate into a direct confrontation?
Now, for many, this situation looks like just another geopolitical chess match.
But for those who view world events through the lens of biblical prophecy, this buildup carries a much deeper significance. Specifically, it brings to mind the prophecy in Ezekiel chapter 38. This ancient text describes a future coalition of nations, led by a figure from the far north widely interpreted as Russia, will one day march against Israel. This coalition includes several nations, and one of the key players mentioned is Persia, which is modern-day Iran. The prophecy is very specific. A powerful alliance will form and decide to invade Israel to take a spoil.
So, how does the current standoff with Iran connect to this?
Let's consider two potential scenarios, both of which could paradoxically pave the way for this prophecy's fulfillment. The first scenario is a diplomatic one. Imagine the United States, through its immense military and economic pressure, successfully forces Iran into a settlement. This deal might require Iran to halt its nuclear program, stop sponsoring proxy groups, and guarantee safe passage in the Strait of Hormuz. On the surface, this would look like a huge victory for peace and stability. The world would breathe a sigh of relief. However, the prophecy in Ezekiel suggests that any peace with this coalition might be temporary. If Iran agrees to a settlement under duress, it doesn't mean their long-term ambitions will change. The Bible has examples of treaties made and broken. It's plausible that Iran could agree to terms now biding its time, only to break the agreement later when the geopolitical landscape changes, perhaps when it feels its alliance with Russia and other nations is strong enough to challenge Israel directly. This peace in our time could simply be the calm before the storm, allowing the very conditions for the Ezekiel 38 invasion to quietly fall into place. Now let's look at the second, more drastic scenario. What if diplomacy fails and military action is taken, leading to regime change in Iran? The United States and its allies could succeed in toppling the current leadership and installing a new pro-Western government. Again, this would be hailed as a major success. The immediate threat would seem to be neutralized, but history has taught us that imposed regimes are often unstable. The new government might not have the full support from some Iranian people or its powerful military and religious factions. Over time, this new regime could falter. Popular discontent, combined with external influence from nations like Russia, could lead to another shift in power. A new leader could rise, one who is even more nationalistic and resentful of Western interference. This new leadership could then actively seek an alliance with Russia, not just for support, but for revenge. In this scenario, the US action would have inadvertently created a more determined and focused enemy, perfectly aligning with the prophetic coalition. The new Iranian regime, forged in the fire of intervention, would eagerly join the Russian-led march against Israel, fulfilling the prophecy in a way no one expected. What's truly fascinating is that regardless of which path is taken, a temporary, fragile peace or a forceful regime change, both roads seem to lead to the same destination described in Ezekiel 38. Both scenarios could ultimately result in an Iranian government, whether the current one or a future one, aligning with a Russian-led coalition to invade Israel. And this brings us to the prophecy's ultimate conclusion. According to Ezekiel, this invasion is not the end of Israel, quite the opposite. The prophecy declares that God himself will intervene directly. The invading armies will face a series of catastrophic events: earthquakes, infighting, pestilence, and fire from heaven. The destruction of this coalition will be so complete and so supernatural that the entire world will know it was a divine act. The purpose, as stated in the text, is so that the nations will know that I am the Lord. It's a powerful reminder that no matter how complex the politics or how mighty the armies, there is a sovereign plan at work. As we continue to watch the news and see these events unfold, it's worth keeping this perspective in mind. It provides a framework for understanding that goes beyond the daily headlines. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to subscribe for more updates as we continue to track this and other important stories from around the world. Stay informed and stay safe.